O little town of Bethlehem. Philip Brooks was born in Boston in December of 1835, and he graduated from Harvard College in 1855, was ordained in 1859. He was successively the rector of the Church of the Advent in Philadelphia and Trinity Church in Boston, and he became Bishop of Massachusetts in 1891, dying in Boston in 1893. In 1895, the year the Civil War ended and President Lincoln was assassinated, themes of peace and quiet would probably have been welcome to Americans. And in that year, the Reverend Philip Brooks took a trip to Israel and saw Bethlehem and its surrounding fields on Christmas Eve, in which he rode horseback through the fields around Bethlehem and then attended the Church of the Nativity on Christmas Eve there, which eventually inspired him to write this Christmas hymn. Brooks did not complete the hymn until 1868. That year, he commissioned a tune for it from his church organist, Louis Redner, so that it could be sung at the Sunday school service at his church for Christmas on December 27th, 1868. It was originally written in 5 stanzas, but the 4th is usually left out. Redner later wrote, "Neither Mr. Brooks nor I ever thought the carol or the music to it would live beyond that Christmas of 1868. However, this tune and text pairing has lasted now for over 150 years and is one of the best-loved American Christmas hymns." In contrast to some other Christmas hymns that emphasize the glory of God, as seen in the grand chorus of angels, Brooks focuses on the quietness of Christ's birth and how little the larger world paid attention, for Bethlehem was just a little town, and only a few people paid attention to the event. The heraldic chorus of angels is minimized in the lines, while mortals sleep, the angels keep their watch of wondering love. The final stanza is a prayer that Christ would come, be present with us, and transform our lives. Let's now sing, O Little Town of Bethlehem.
In the bleak midwinter. Christina Georgina Rossetti, daughter of Gabriel and sister of Dante Gabriel and William Michael Rossetti, was born in London, December 5th, 1830, and she received education at home. Admittedly, she had written very few hymns for church worship, but several centos have been compiled from her poems and have passed into several hymn books. It is said that Miss Rossetti's verses are profoundly suggestive and lyrical and deserve a larger place than they occupy in the hymnody of the church. Her sonnets are amongst the finest in the English language. Though we do not know the time of year when Jesus was actually born, we do know that Israel, at any time of year, was not the windy, frozen scene the opening stanza of this hymn depicts. Nevertheless, the world was not a friendly place for Jesus, even though the thermometer was above freezing. The middle stanzas describe the contrast between the glory of heaven from which Jesus came and the poor reality of the earth he came to save. The final stanza asks for an appropriate response to Christ's sacrifice of glory, and the answer is, "Give him my heart."
God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen by Bill Dagley. It is an English traditional Christmas carol based on Luke chapter 2. You've heard it said, things aren't always what they appear to be. Well, when we sing the Christmas carol, God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen, this saying is certainly true. With the changing of word meanings and differences in cultures, it's hard for Americans today to understand what the English peasants were singing about over 500 years ago, unless you know the story behind the song. The 15th century church sang only dark, somber songs, usually written in Latin. When Christmas rolled around each year, songs of joy and happiness were not allowed in the church. And to overcome this problem, the people took the singing of Christmas songs to the streets of jolly old London. Soon, the waits, the night watchmen of the time, would be singing God Rest Ye Merry as they walked the streets of London. Even Charles Dickens would include the song in his classic, The Christmas Carol. This song was popular with the people because of a very strong message, one which we desperately still need today. Each Christmas, we greet each other with the word merry, meaning happy. Back in the Middle Ages, the word merry meant great and mighty. For example, Robin Hood's merry men might be better understood as mighty men. Then there's the word rest. The meaning back then was keep or make. These original meanings would be clearer today with the addition of a modern comma. Thus, the true meaning of the song is God make you mighty, gentlemen, which is a message for back then and a message for today. So many at Christmas time will never hear or see the true reason for this holiday, which is Christ's birth. The activities, the distractions, the lack of time and money will rob most of us of this important message. They will be deceived into thinking it's just another Merry Christmas and the New Year will bring more heartache and pain. We, as mighty men and women, can make a difference this Christmas by living our faith before them. Amid the holly and the tinsel, we can tell them that Christ was born to die and that in him we might live forever. God rest ye merry gentlemen is more than just a Christmas carol. It's our rallying song to show the world that at Christmas time, things aren't always what they appear to be.
The next song will be sung by our trio here, Long Time Ago. It is by Neil Hagberg and Leandra Peak. Folk duo Neil and Leandra, singer and songwriters Neil Hagberg and Leandra Peak, formed after the two met while attending Gustavus Adolphus College in Minnesota in 1981. Hagberg from Montevideo, Minnesota, was pre-med biology major who later received a master's degree in theology. And Peak was pursuing a master's degree in Spanish. But having grown up in a musical family in Louisville, Kentucky, with a father who was a professional singer, she was appearing in a campus production of the musical Godspell. That is when Hagberg went backstage to meet her and invited her to perform with him. They have honed their craft to perfection on this collection of 12 Christmas classics and originals. Listen to the Angels album that they'll be singing. In a season defined by a wild rush for more, Neil and Leandra have proven once again that sometimes less is indeed more. Neil Hagberg and Leandra Peak married in 1989 and began touring as a full-time duo. Neil and Leandra have since performed in nearly every state in the country. The Washington Post says, as songwriters, Neil and Leandra have clearly mastered the art of saying more with less. The Minneapolis Star Tribune says, listening to Leandra's Peak's distinctively husky and lustrous voice might be as heavenly as listening to angels. And Neil Hagberg writes inspired originals.
A silent night, a baby's cry, a mother sings her lullaby, a star is watching from the sky. Long time ago, long time ago.
A manger warm, a bed of straw, a cradle in a cattle stall, no golden throne, no royal home. Long time ago, long time ago.
A quiet hush, a midnight clear, the sheep and oxen standing near, a father's prayer, a mother's tear. Long time ago, long time ago, the angel song, a glad refrain, from heaven's glory Jesus came, the Prince of Peace was born to reign. Long time ago, long time ago, a silent night, a baby's cry, a mother sings her lullaby, a star is watching from the sky. Long time ago, long time ago.
Dr. David is going to play us now a piano version of I'll Be Home for Christmas, which is not much of a hymn, and more of a Christmas song. It was written by Kim Gannon and composer Walter Kent and recorded in 1943 by Bing Crosby, who scored a top 10 hit with the song. The song is sung from the point of view of a soldier stationed overseas during World War II, writing a letter to his family. In the message, he tells his family he'll be coming home and to prepare the holiday for him, and requests snow and mistletoe and presents on the tree. The song ends on a melancholy note with a soldier saying, "I'll be home for Christmas, if only in my dreams." It was originally written to honor soldiers overseas who longed to be home at Christmas time, and "I'll Be Home for Christmas" has since gone on to become an American Christmas standard. We give thanks for all our veterans and military personnel as they have served and serve our country. And we give thanks to you for all the ways in which you give here and serve here at Shepherd and in our community. We'll collect our offering at this time as we listen to the song. We conclude this morning with the hymn "Angels from the Realms of Glory." It was Christmas Eve of 1816. The English newspaper, The Iris, contained a new poem for the Christmas celebration. James Montgomery, its author, entitled the poem "Nativity." Born an Irishman in November of 1771, Montgomery should have followed in his missionary parents' steps, but by the time James was 12, they had died on the missionary field. At the age of 23, young James found himself in charge of a newspaper, as the owner had fled to America to avoid political imprisonment. Originally hired to write stories for the paper, now he would write editorials. Montgomery would begin an editorial crusade against the English rule over the Irish. The Irish read the paper for inspiration, while the English read the paper to find condemnation. Twice the young publisher was tossed in jail for his political writings, yet he kept on until the evening of 1816. Instead of dividing with the pen, Montgomery was uniting the Irish and the English with the message of Christmas: "For God so loved the world." A new revolution was beginning. It would take another 20 years before this quieter rebellion would be fully felt by the English in their churches. Henry Smart, one of England's first organists and composers, had discovered Montgomery's nativity poem. The Church of England taught that the members were spectators during worships, not participants. Smart felt that worship should be a joyful, corporate experience. To prove his point, Smart composed a musical setting for Montgomery's poem and gave it a new title. Both Montgomery and Smart had fought for freedom with the power of the pen. Now, together they proclaimed that true freedom is found only in Christ's birth, as the world started singing, "Angels from the Realms of Glory."
Go in peace to sing, love, and serve the Lord. Thanks be to God.